dead to know all these offshore criminal bankers are taking over. Look, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm telling the truth. Tyranny is taking over the planet. Remember what Stalin did and Hitler did and Mao did and Fidel Castro and hundreds of others and Caesar and the Aztecs? This is what elites do. They're ruthless. I actually get upset about real things like being conquered by offshore banks. Exactly. The country is in total foreign bank receivership to the banks that engineered the crisis that we gave all our money to quote, restart the economy. You understand when we gave the foreign banks $14.8 trillion, according to Bloomberg, that we have to pay interest on the free money we gave them? And they're openly bragging publicly that they've engineered the world financial collapse to bankrupt the planet, and then backed up by NATO and the U.S. military, they point guns at every country, including the U.S., and say, you're going to accept all our new rules or we won't turn the money spigots back on. And the money spigots is all through perception. It's all just fiat these scam artists make out of nothing. Just stop being such smucks, folks. Why? Why are all the industry gone? Why are all the jobs gone? Because we let foreign banks take us over and move the industry offshore as a tool of control and get us deep in debt. Deep in debt that's all made up. It's a fraud. They have created a banking black hole of fiat currency and debt that was impossible to get out of the day they set it in motion. It is a worldwide Ponzi scheme, but when the Ponzi scheme pops, that's when the elite get the real power because everything implodes into their police state hands. All of this has been a master plan. Just like the CIA has taken down hundreds of third world countries, they're taking us down now. They work for offshore banks. They work for foreign corporations. These elites don't care about you in the red, white, and blue. They only wrap themselves in that so you'll stand down. That's their camouflage while they run over you. These are ruthless, cold-blooded world conquerors using financial systems to blast out economies and get people under their control and domesticated and dependent on them. And if they can't do that, they'll fund terror organizations and revolutionary groups in your country to overthrow you, or they'll hire your military to overthrow you, or they'll come in and bombard your nation and blow its infrastructure out, and then sit back for 15 years waging siege on your nation till millions of your people starve to death. Then they'll come in and take over. We're facing cold-blooded killers. At least people out there can wake up and face how much trouble we're in, but you won't, because you want to be slaves and bankrupt homeless. Okay? Get what you want then. Because you're not a slave. You're not going to admit you're a slave. You're going to rationalize. You're going to make excuses. You're going to believe in the false left-right paradigm. That a private group of banks offshore now rule the United States, just like they rule third world and developing countries through debt, and that we're going to be paying our carbon taxes to them, and that we're going to lose our standard of living, and that America's over, and that our freedoms are over, and that, well, really, this is good because America has been too uppity, America has been doing too well, and we deserve this. So after all these years denying that any of this existed, after all of these years denying that any of this is happening, they're now going, oh, yeah, there's a world government run by offshore banks, but they're going to fix all the problems and fix the environment and everything's fine, so just sit down and shut up. And if you don't like it, well, then you're basically terrorist. That's what's going on. That's what's happening here in the United States and worldwide. And I've listened to NPR, and they're always like, America's had it good too long. I heard this 10 years ago. And there's going to be a world collapse, and that'll teach us not to have a high standard of living. And the carbon tax will teach us to live in our means. And everybody's trained. Oh, I better not use too much water. Oh, I better not use plastic bags. Oh, humans are bad. The government tells me. We're like a nation of third graders that line up to ask permission to go to the bathroom. Except the third grade teacher is a SWAT team commander with a taser and a German shepherd in a black uniform with acid dripping out of his mouth, just ready to rip your head off and do you know what to your skull. Ah, not me, I'm not a slave. I know tyranny when I see it. And I'm angry because I got a wife and 3 children, and I don't like seeing this happen. And I don't have some high view of myself. I know I'm just an average person. That's why I can't get why so much of the public who's being raped by this doesn't get angry and doesn't get focused and doesn't take action. We're under attack. I am on the front lines. I am the info warrior. I am ready to wage war on dehumanization. I am ready to crush the New World Order. Fire up and join me. Get your soul back. Get your heart back. And say no to the tyranny.